Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal. I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, okay. Hanging in there.
Mhm.
Wasn't exactly a pick-me-up watching the Oilers game. You were there,
No,
right?
yeah, I was there, and I enjoyed some of the game and the experience of being there and some of the skill on display, but obviously the outcome wasn't as desired by the home faithful, and it was not a game that had a lot of drama or excitement down the stretch for the second home game in a row. The Oilers were looking up at the scoreboard and trailing for all but 1 minute tonight. Sunday they made it to the 2 minute mark before they were trailing for the rest of the game. Tonight they didn't even make it past, was it 1:11 of the first period? You know, I ranted about that on Sunday. I won't rant tonight because I didn't think they had a bad start. In fact, I thought they were fine, but they didn't get a save, and Minnesota got a few saves, and the Oilers did a lot right in this game. But the great equalizer, goaltending, the other great equalizer, puck luck, and the Oilers didn't have enough of either one of those things.
Yeah, they had 12 grade A shots to 7 for the Wild. So the Oilers weren't bad in this game. They were pretty good. But the story was goaltending. Bruce, in the third period where there was not much drama, just pain,
Mm-hmm.
two sequences of pain to be specific, there was 5 alarm chances in the third period. 2 by the Oilers.
Yeah.
They didn't score.
Right.
2 by the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Got goals on both of them. So there you go. It was a game lost by the goaltenders. Bruce, what's your good thing?
Well, my good thing tonight is Darnell Nurse sitting high in the second bowl behind the end of the Oilers that were attacking for 2 periods. And I just saw Nurse all over the ice. Man, does he get places and try and create and make things happen out there. And, the stats kind of back it up that he had 13 shot attempts in this game, 7 of them on net. And he was firing from everywhere. He was making good plays along the blue line to keep the puck in, making good decisions to pinch up the boards and chip pucks back into the corner. And I just thought he played a really dynamic, good game. He got burned on 4-1 goal, I guess it was, on that. He got caught flat-footed with that great pass at center that I think Kaprizov made to, Dmitry Kulikov on a clear-cut breakaway. We all saw that one coming, right? So that was that was a play from nowhere. But that detracted but little from Darnell's night. And according to Natural Stat Trick, he played 19 minutes at even strength. That they counted. And he had shot attempts 38 for the Oilers, 12 for the Wild. Shots 20-8 for the Oilers with Nurse on the ice. And the play was constantly being pushed by Nurse into Minnesota territory. And I'd say he was quite unlucky to just come out 1-1 on the goals front on this night. But that was the nature of the night, that the PDO was not in Edmonton's favor.
He put one off the post in the first period where Hyman was screening it.
Yeah.
He cut into the slot for a really great backhand chance.
Yeah, wicked shot too from backhand. Like I'd love to see like 5 forwards out of the 12 on the team be able to shoot a backhand like that, a sizzler from the high slot. There's forwards that won't even take a backhand, and you got a defenseman who can do that.
And early in the third, he was the one who was set up for the one-timer in front of the net, just 5 minutes into the third. And if he had scored there, would have been fantastic, but not to be. Talbot saved it. Bruce, he also was a little bit culpable on the first goal. He didn't take the stick of the Wild player, but really, and this is my bad thing, so early in the game, and this is my old complaint, when a goalie lets in a bad goal early in the game, their team never wins. I'm just going to say it. I don't think they ever win, at least with the Oilers. You let in a bad goal, it's just so demoralizing. And that was just on the bench. They must just have been thinking, what the heck happened there? Because it wouldn't be necessarily evident watching the play what happened. When you watch the video, it's completely evident. Koskinen just gets off his post. He loses his post as the puck's coming up from behind the net, and they put it in the net. It was just terrible goaltending, and it was disastrous for the Oilers. Another start like that, and a really weak goal against. So, only 7 grade A shots,
4
4
goals.
goals. Not good, Bruce. Not good at all.
Yeah, Koskinen, I thought he had the post covered there, and the first shot didn't go in, but it kind of squeaked through, and then his foot came off the post, and Eriksson Ek, who's a very big, strong guy, was able to muscle his way in there and get inside of Darnell's stick and touch it home. And he was a pretty good player for Minnesota tonight. Had a goal and assist in the first 7 minutes of play. That basically was the difference in the game. It's just like LA the other night. Once they got to 2-0, the Oilers weren't coming back.
I guess
Go
ahead. Sorry.
Eriksson Ek. You remember when the Oilers were going to take him?
Yeah.
And there was some voices in the crowd who I won't identify by name, who are saying, you see, the Oilers are so silly that even if they kept the draft pick and not traded for Reinhart, they would have drafted the wrong guy. They would have took this Eriksson Ek guy over Barzal. Well, I'm not hearing so much of that this last couple of years because Eriksson Ek is a tremendous player.
Yeah, he is. He's their new Saku, or not, he's their new Mikko Koivu on that team.
Yes, very good comparison.
Yeah, I jumped ahead there to my bad thing. I guess it was top of mind, Bruce.
It belonged there. That's fine. You can do a good thing now. There was more bad than good in this game. So
well, the Oilers' goal was pretty nice. McDavid was just flying out there. I thought he was actually played a really strong game. Was flying all game, and he, eventually he takes it down behind the net, and Hyman's creating a lot of confusion in front of the net, and McDavid just made a very nice pass to JP Puljujärvi, the Bison King, who slammed it in the net, just like he's got to do. So that was a beautiful goal, and it was the highlight of the night, I'm sure, at the arena as well. So
the goal, yes, it certainly was. And the play that impressed me there, I mean, I think it was Hyman fed it to McDavid high in the zone, and he did some of his dipsy doodle dangle stuff that he does, and fired a shot on net from an angle, hard shot. And the most impressive play at all was how he controlled the rebound of that shot, picked it off with his skate coming off the Talbot's pad, and it was like just another stick handle. He kicked it right up to his stick, came out the other side, and found Puljujärvi in the low slot, and bam. But a tremendous play by McDavid to recover the puck, recover his own rebound after Talbot had made the original save. And such incredible high-end skill the guy has at just top speed. Stuff like that just blows me away. He had a few moves, too, in the neutral zone, one-on-ones, where he just undressed some guy. But the thing was, there was always another Minnesota guy next. They were layered up against him, and he couldn't get all the way through the layers before he ran out of room.
Oops.
That gives an echo when you do whatever you just did.
Oh. Is it echoing now?
No.
I think I turned it off at the wrong time. Anyway, McDavid, there was one play where he won the board, where he picked the puck off the boards in the offensive zone, and he just quickly spun and split 2 wild defenders and went to the net with it.
Right to the net.
Just an amazing play. It was an amazing play. He had it going on. He just couldn't put up the goals because, the Oilers are running into some teams that are getting their defensive play together right now and figuring it out on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hard to score against, especially when it's backed up by good goaltending. Bruce, what's your bad thing?
Yeah, I'm going to single out Chris Russell. A couple times lately, he had a nice run of games there last week, and these last 3 he's been pretty brutal. Got to say,
yeah,
he was pretty brutal tonight, and he was he had a richly deserved -2 in this game, and the first one in particular, I just don't know what the heck happened. It was a 3-on-3, and he looked like he should have his man, and he just kind of pushed him, and he pushed the guy towards the slot, and Russell was behind him after that, and the pass came across, and Buddy just tapped it in. And I just don't quite understand what the intention was, what he was trying to do there. Like usually you can see what he's trying to do, and sometimes he can't execute because the other guy's bigger and stronger or faster, what have you. But this was one where I just couldn't figure out what the hell that he was even trying to do. Anyway, whatever it was failed spectacularly, and his man wound up with an easy tap in, and that's not the usual Chris Russell giving up easy tap ins. And then on the third goal, he was beaten by a pass across the slot, and again, came out second best on that. And keeping the puck out of Oilers' net is his specialty, and tonight he basically failed at that specialty twice.
I was shocked on the first goal, Bruce. It was so un-Chris Russell like that play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just terrible defense. Mm-hmm. It was horrendous. He was back in time. He just needed to keep his feet moving. He probably could have got on the right side of the guy if he kept hustling, which he always does, except in that play he didn't. He kind of bumped him.
Yeah, but he bumped him in the wrong direction.
Where they bump him and give him the boost to go faster.
Yeah,
bumped him forward into the slot. Or like Phil and Tony Esposito hockey in the 1970s, that table game with magnet players. Anyway, he it was just the weirdest un-Chris Russell-like play, but he's been himself sometimes this year and not himself at other times. And I think the heavy use has caught up to him. He can't play that much. And, maybe they should have called up Philip Berryland from the farm team instead of either Lagesson or Niemelainen, a right side guy when Ceci went out. Because, man, they're missing. Do they ever miss Cody Ceci, Bruce?
Yeah, that's for sure.
He's been their steadiest defenseman. He and Darnell Nurse, their two best defensemen this year. One on the left, one on the right. And they have just missed the hell out of Cody Ceci. He cannot come back fast enough. Hopefully his case of COVID wasn't too serious. Gauging from what Tippett said, I don't think it sounded like it was. Like, sounds like he's going to be back fairly soon here. Good, because they need him.
Yeah, the Oilers went 4-2 with Nurse out, but so far they're 1-3 without Ceci. So that's, they won the first game that he was out, that kind of miracle win against Pittsburgh. And then since then they've had their ears boxed now three times in a row. And weakness on right side defense has been a problem in those games.
Yeah, let's move on to our numbers now, Bruce. Is that where? Yeah, we're at our numbers. My number is -9. And that is Philip Broberry's plus-minus in the last 7 games. So I went and checked to see if he's actually, how responsible he is for that -9. And I think we have him personally, like one of the culprits on just 4 of the goals against, not all 9, just about half of them. So he hasn't been playing terrible hockey. He hasn't been eaten alive at the NHL level, but he's not crushing it. And tonight, like, he allowed the pass into the slot where Russell didn't cover the guy. Mm-hmm. But, Broberry allowed that pass into the slot. That's, as an NHL defenseman, you want to stop that play. So he's had a few too many plays like that. And, I think he's looked good. He's skated well. He's playing a fairly cautious game, but, and I've liked what I've seen in many ways, but, he is starting to, they're taking advantage of him a little bit on defense.
Well, he played 10 minutes tonight and was -2. That's not a real good sign. And, neither he nor his partner had a terrific game. But in his very first game, he had an assist. Remember, he made that play into the corner, and he was +1 in that game. And since then, this is his complete game log. So every game, no points, and -2, -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, -2. 7 minus games in a row. And you can say, oh, plus minus, that doesn't mean anything, but his goals for percentage is not good, and his goals against per 60 is not good. Like they're scoring against him, and the Oilers are not scoring when he's out there, and he's losing his segment of every game. The Oilers are losing that part of the game, 1 or 2-0, and that's hard to recover from wherever you identify, whether it's the first goal, whether it's a particular line that's getting caved or whatever. Where you're losing a goal a game is a big disadvantage for an entire team to overcome. And he's in over his head right now, I would say, and this call up was premature because of what happened with the injuries. And I would think that the first possibility that they get when one more guy comes back, be it CC or especially if it's Keith and it's another left side defenseman, that they'll get him down and playing big minutes in Bakersfield again, and with some direction on things that he needs to, parts of his game that he needs to work on to succeed at the NHL level. I mean, it's clear he's got the raw skills to do so, and he's getting some bitter firsthand experience as to how good NHL opposition players can be and how they'll burn you, given a sliver of an opportunity to do so. So he's got plenty to work on, and he's got plenty of time to work on it, and he's got plenty of tools with which to work on it. And I remain confident he's going to be a good player over time, but that time is not now.
Yeah, there's some fans who will disagree with us, right? Like they want him to stick with the team, or maybe they've changed their minds by now. I don't know. But yeah, he's. I wouldn't be surprised if he got sent down tomorrow. Honestly, like depending on either Keith or Cece.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have Lagesson that they can play the next game.
Right.
So Niemelainen's been okay.
Niemelainen wound up +1 tonight. That's hard to do.
He did allow a breakaway to Fiala.
He did.
That was a tough play though. Like Fiala was like shot out of a gun. That was a quick turnaround play. Like any defenseman would have struggled to keep up with Fiala on that play. It was so quickly developing, but his job to stop him, and he didn't do it. So
that was the play where he thought about stepping up to try and keep the puck in at the blue line and thought better of it and backed off, but didn't back off quite soon enough. Was that Fiala? I didn't get all the numbers of who was doing what for Minnesota.
No, Puljujärvi, it was a turnover. Puljujärvi put it at net.
Oh, okay.
Turned it over, and there was a quick pass up the ice.
Ah, yes, okay.
And Fiala broke down the wing past Niemelainen and got a breakaway shot. So, and then there was another chance. I don't know if it was a grade A chance or not. You're going to have to review it.
Yep.
That Fiala got the rebound on. What's your number?
Some of this is rookies going to rookie, and they're going to learn, and they're going to, ideally, you get burned on a play like that, your goalie makes a save, and the next day you look at the film and, boy, how could I have done that different, coach? And coach says, oh, it's good, all good because Mikko had your back, but this is what you need to take away from it. Well, anyway, my number, okay, my number is 2 goals. And the Oilers in the first 17 games this year, they scored at least 2 goals in all 17 of those games. Every single game, they had multiple goals, 17 in a row. Since then, they played 7 games, and they've been held to 1 goal 4 of the 7 games. So all of a sudden, this solid Edmonton Oilers offense that can be relied on to put numbers on the board each and every night are suddenly half the time not able to do much of anything beyond a single goal. They won the first one of those games 2-1 in the shootout over Winnipeg, but since then they've been boxed 4-1 by Dallas, 5-1 by LA, 4-1 by Minnesota. And they don't keep the puck out of their own net well enough to have a chance to hang around in many games where they can only score 1 themselves. So it's a concern that the offense has it's not firing on all cylinders at this point, and you can stretch out to the power play that went 0 for 5 in this game, and really struggled to get shots through. I thought they were passing around the perimeter, and Minnesota, from high in the stands, it was very obvious they were playing a very tight box. They weren't lining guys up and having one forward above the other like the Oilers do it. It was the old style box, and you basically had Two guys at the bottom of the circles and two guys at the tops of the circles, all sort of aligned with the hash marks. And the Oilers would pass the puck down one side. The guy wouldn't see a shot. He'd look out to the point. The point man would look through. He wouldn't see anything. He'd swing it down to the other side and back and around and around and back and forth. And nobody would ever shoot because they didn't have any shooting lanes. Like I thought the Minnesota penalty killers were terrific, very, very disciplined. And so they're going to have to figure something out there.
That's interesting, Bruce, because I noticed that the one-timers weren't open, but I noticed the point shot was, and I didn't put it together. They were playing the box like you did. So that's what they had to take, maybe more point shots.
Yeah, they got a few and looking for rebounds and garbage and bounces in front, which didn't happen.
Yeah. Bruce, why don't we just leave it there? Let's move on. Let's move along.
Yeah, this one wasn't a stinker like Sunday. I'm not going to say enough said about that stinker, but let's just say enough said about that game. Let's move on to Boston Bruins on Thursday night.
Good stuff. Bruce, thanks for talking tonight.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.